Oh, here's another week. First and foremost, I got my little monkeys over there. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. In any way, shape, or form, whatever you're doing out there to be a father figure, please know it goes with great gratitude, all the things you're doing, whether it's fishing, whether it's life skills, whether it's a number of things, schooling, sports, just being a good all-around parent figure. Thank you. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We had fun today. We started the morning off fishing. We got out at sunrise, chased down some bass, caught some fish, had some fun. It's been a busy week. Weather continues to play a role. We just cannot get away from the weirdness that this weather brings, whether it's super windy, whether it's hot and humid. This is a very hot day today. It's the afternoon on Sunday of Father's Day. It's very sticky, very sweaty. Heat index, I think, almost borderline unsafe. We had massive amounts of rain yesterday. They're calling for a bunch of rain tomorrow. Friday was a beautiful day, mid to upper 70s, not a lot of wind, sunny, not a lot of humidity, one of the nicest days of the year. Thursday, windy, rainy. My gosh, we just can't catch a break. That's just kind of what it's been, up and down, up and down. Thank goodness for Blackfish gear. I'm not trying to be a mosquito, not trying to be a commercial, but I have lived in something Blackfish gear related, whether it's a sun shirt on days like today, rain suit, which is what I feel like I'm always in, a vest, a pair of bibs, a pair of shorts, a pair of pants. They kind of have it all. So Blackfish gear, shout out to you. You make a lot of great stuff to keep us on the water and comfortable no matter the conditions. So how are we catching our fish? Water temps are now consistently in the 70s, 70, 71, 72. I've seen 73. You might see 68, 69 to start the day. That's surface temperature. It's going to heat right on up. And we're calling for some warmer temps throughout this week. Even though we got a chance of rain almost every single day, we're calling for some temperatures in the 70s and 80s. So things are going to warm up nicely. Things are going to happen. Today, scorching hot. So water temps, low 70s, very consistent. That's what we're seeing. We're going to talk bass fishing a lot in this report. I have not done a ton of walleye fishing this last week. I've targeted them a little bit in the morning hours, a couple hours here or there, picked up some fish. I'll be honest, you heard me talk last week. I am definitely learning this game we call walleye fishing, especially here in the Twin Cities. I am learning as we go. I am having a hard time consistently staying on the fish throughout the day. I'm a hero or a zero in the morning, and after that, I go bass fishing. However, the last few days, it's been all about the bass. This week, mostly about the bass. We've chased down a lot of largemouth, haven't done the smallmouth thing, chased down largemouth bass on Minnetonka, West Metro, Northeast Metro, Central Metro, you name it. We're finding some consistent patterns where the fish are in that. A lot of fish in 6 to 10 feet, a lot of fish moving out into 10, 12, 15 feet of water. We're not seeing a lot of fish out in 20 feet yet, although I will tell you the coontail on a lot of our metro lakes has already grown in. If you're paying attention to your sonar, you are seeing those deep weeds already flourishing. We've had a lack of snow cover this last winter, lack of ice, tons of rain. Weeds are doing their thing. We have a lot of weeds happening. If you don't want to play in the weeds, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to play in the weeds. We saw that today. A lot of our fish today were in 10 to 15 feet. They were schooled up. They were easy to spot. They're kind of meandering through the weed stalks, on the weed edges, on the inside turns, abrupt stops, weed lines, things like that. I've caught a lot of fish on wacky rigs in 6, 8, 9, 10 feet of water. I have not beat the dock lines yet. I am seeing a lot of bass anglers fishing the dock lines. We are still that 6 to 10 or even a little further out. I feel like our fish are gravitating heavily towards their summer patterns, which for me I like, because I like schooling fish. I like offshore structure. I like to target fish in that situation. So what am I going to do this coming week? I'm going to fish a lot of bass outside weed lines. I'm going to pitch maybe into the cover, into the heavier weeds. I'm going to look for pockets in the weeds. I'm going to look for weed line variations, meaning you got a weed line and then I'm going to have a clump here or a clump there, kind of adjacent or off that weed line. Pay attention to see if there's fish on it and pitch into it. What are we doing to catch our fish? We talked about wacky rigs, things like that. We caught some big fish on that. We are fishing Ned rigs. Ned rigs seem to be key the last several days. I can be effective. I can cover water. I can stay on top of the fish. I can put it in their face. I'm fishing a little heavier, like a 1/5 ounce head, 1/4 ounce head, a little heavier than your typical net head. I want to get that right down there in the bottom. I want to make contact with the bottom. That's where the fish are. That's where the schools are. That's what's important. So I've been fishing a lot of Ned rigs, jig worms, going to start playing with the drop shot. Those sorts of things are all going to be important this coming week. I expect when we talk a week from now that we're in full-blown summer patterns. We're going to be chasing fish out deeper. That's just what's going to be happening. There is a Denny's event on Lake Minnetonka tomorrow, which I'm excited to be a part of again. Excited to see what these teams do and what they bring to the scales. That'll show some more transition, I bet, into what we're seeing for fishing patterns. But my anticipation is the Ned rig's going to continue to get bit. The jig worm's going to continue to get bit. The drop shot's going to continue to get bit if you're throwing that. I do plan to pitch a jig around, flip a jig into some of the cover, those sorts of ththings. And in terms of my rod and reel setup, I've been getting some questions on what I use for Ned rigs. This happens to be the brand new Stealth Blank from Thorne Brothers. This is a 7'3" medium action rod. I have 15-pound braid to an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. I'm using that new Miraval 2500. You could use a 3000 Shimano reel, and away we go. And I'm fishing a variety of different heads. I got a bunch up here that work. I am fishing the Hail Mary from All Terrain Ned head. I am fishing the Z-Man Ned lock. That's got a nice little Ned ringer on the back. I'm also fishing a scope TG and a drop TG. This is just a ball head, but I'll use a smaller worm on there. All of these types of presentations are getting bit on the weed lines. You can see I'm not big and gaudy. I'm talking 3 to 5 inches in presentation. I'm not throwing big worms. I'm not doing any of that stuff yet. I will start to lean on a jig worm a lot more as we get into the summer months, but right now, I'm just kind of feeding them what they want. I'm putting this in front of their face, these tiny morsels, and they're getting bit. And then the weight, I've been getting questions on the weight of the head. I've been fishing a lot heavier than normal. I'm pretty sure you can guess why. It's because we're dealing with the wind. We got a lot of wind, so the heavier jig lets me get down there quicker, faster, feel the bottom easier. My clients can feel it easier. My kids can feel things easier. And if you feel like something's on the end of your line, when we bass fish, we all know, anyone that fishes with me knows, hook sets are free. So if you feel something, you reel up, you give it a quick yank to set the hook. If it's not there, it just rips through the weeds. A lot of times that triggers the bite. So either way, it's a win-win situation. And if it is a fish, guess what? You just set the hook and you're bringing them home. So that's how I plan to fish this coming week. I'm excited. We're going to get out there and chase down some fish. I'll be in the water a bunch again. I'll be fishing Minnetonka primarily this week. I'll be out there tomorrow. I'll be out there multiple times this week. I'm out there again next weekend. That's going to be predominantly where I fish. I do plan to fish some West Metro and Chisago area next week, as well as make a trip back into Wisconsin. So there's a variety of ways to catch fish. I'm just kind of talking about what's working for us. It's been effective. This has worked, and we're pumped up. So rule of thumb today, on days like today, hydrate, proper sun protection, maybe fish prime time if you can. We fished the first 4 hours of light this morning. Maybe fish the last few hours of light this afternoon when temps are cooler. However, a lot of rain predicted this week. It's going to be interesting. Get the rain jacket. I'm going to have my Blackfish Aspire suit on a lot this coming week, and we're going to go out there and have a whole lot of fun. So again, Father's Day, all you dads out there, enjoy your day. Have a good time. I'm going to grill some food. I'm going to do some yard work. I'm going to rough house with the kids. I'm going to have some fun here to end the week. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.